participants. Thanks for giving me an opportunity and selecting this project in initial stage to be evaluated. Of course, I'll be speaking about a very common project like integrated human resource management system, but it has made a huge impact in the state of Punjab because it has taken it from the place where there was no computerization to the name in HR management to a place where everything is thought based upon this application. It is serving base to so many applications, which we will see in the slides to come. So I think background is very important if you need to understand why this project was conceived and why it has been implemented. Actually, 30 Finance Commission recommended a creation of employee database. Government started work, but it was somehow lingering in between from one department to another department. And then there came a precondition.
Please check your audio system. I can't hear anything what you are saying.
Sorry, sir, just
you're not audible.
Hello, is it available now? Hello.
Your voice is breaking. चलिए.
The release of loan to the Punjab government from Asian Development Bank was also linked to the creation of employee database. So government thought of using this opportunity and command from the Finance Commission and ADB to create an employee database and reap the benefit of HR management. NIC was given a job. NIC Punjab was given this implementation to execute and take it to the place where a vision of development of an integrated view of employee information was there in the mind of the government. So pre-deployment scenario, as I have already told you, that there was not any HR management software available in the state. And problem was that whatever manual system was in place, that was not being managed properly. Even I myself saw some service books of the employee who were on the verge of the retirement, but their service book, only first page was, some information was there and complete service book or record of the employee was not there. So you can think of that what kind of impact it is going to create for the employee after the retirement. And of course, when there is a manual system, then there are practices also to be performed in that system. Even benefits for the employees were done with blatant disregard to the government rules and instructions. If there were n number of executors, then there were n+1 types of calculations being done, one prescribed by the government and others, and plus the number of executors. Say if there were n number of executors, then n+1 kind of calculations used to be done. And shortage of staff in few departments vis-a-vis surplus staff, because no information was available to the name. So whatever one wanted to exploit was able to do that. Of course, some small departments created their rudimentary employees data, but that was totally incomplete, non-standardized, and it led to the wastage of resources and other things. And one more thing which we faced initially was that employees were reluctant to implement this system because their wrongdoings and that will be exposed, as well as the information which they are using for exploitation of employee will be shared and available to the employees in the transparent manner. So that was the reason. So we came into the picture in 2016. In August 2016, we provided a module of service book in which every record of employee was to be done, and that served as a base module, because until unless there is a base data on which you are to build your system, if that is not there, then nothing can be achieved. So that was our base system. And then thereafter, there follows so many other modules which I have listed. And you'll be glad to know that this software is being used for even for the generation of salaries of MLAs and ministers, chief minister, honorable governor of Punjab, and leader of opposition, so many advisors. So they are using this system. So there are around 22 to 24 modules which are being used presently and fully implemented across the state of Punjab, and many more modules which I have listed over here, that is medical reimbursement, pension management boards and corporation. And of course, we have developed a IHRMS mobile application which gives your complete information of the employee with a single application, that is IHRMS application. But we made earlier it on the Android platform, and there was so many demand for iOS application. But we developed a hybrid application which is under security audit, and once it is done, we will be uploading that same on the Play Store and App Store. And the next application is very important. It was conceived by our you can say champion, Mr. Dr. Abhinav Trikha, who is Special Secretary Expenditure to the Government of Punjab, as well as Director Treasuries and Accounts. So this M-Hajri application is an application which developed because of the fact that due to COVID-19, the BAS which was being implemented in the state government, biometric attendance system, that has to be stopped because of that infection reason. So he thought of developing an application. Using that application, employee will mark its attendance when he is within 100 meters of that building where his office is established. So we updated the geolocations of 34,000 offices which are there in the state up to the field level, so that whenever some employee comes 100 meters, then its coordinates are automatically taken and his or her attendance is marked. But say if employee is on field tour or in the field duty or is working from home, even that option has been made available into this application. And also this application is linked with the leave system and salary system. In case if employee comes to the office, makes an attendance and immediately starts going back to out of the office, this application won't allow you to log out not less than 5 hours of working in the office. If he is to leave the office, then he will have to apply short leave or half day leave or whatever leave he wants. And if he has applied the leave and reporting officer has not seen the leave or has not approved the leave, then reporting officer, action on reporting officer is taken by withholding his salary. So this whole system has been developed and is under implementation in the Department of Finance and is waiting for the rollout throughout the state. And this is an application which is based upon the actual data, real-time updated data. We are going to provide these solutions, which I have mentioned over there: appointment, resignation. Of course, government is taking modules on the priority, in which they think that there will be maximum output with minimum efforts. So these modules are yet to be taken up, but slowly and gradually we will be building these modules. Now there are stakeholders. There is a state administrator, which is either finance department or finance as well as personnel department. Both departments are looking into this software from the state side. And 202 departments, they are on the fold. Departments, boards, corporation, I'll be showing that data also. For 202 departments and boards, there are 34,000 offices and as many as office administrators. There are around 8,000 DDOs who are using this application. There are 500 account maintenance authorities who are maintaining GPF account, General Provident Funds. Then we have created special user at AD level for query and reports and dashboards. There are 47 administrative departments in the state. For each department, there are separate user logins and password available with which they can see their department's information. Then there are employees, 3.60 lakh, who can see their My Services. There are n number of options available into it. Then there are pension authorities, department boards, 50 retiring employees and pensioner. Even after once retire from the government job, he remains the part of IHRMS software, being a pensioner. His pensions and EPPO and other details are shown into the under My Services Office login. Then there are 22 deputy commissioners who are given logins for viewing the data of the district. And then we have also integrated AG office last year by doing the pension management software, because data flows from AG from our software to AG and from AG to IHRMS software in a seamless manner. Now we have adopted a strategy where government has created state level steering committee and state level project review committee. One is headed by Chief Secretary, which meets after 3 months for software implementation assessment and giving broad directions. And state project review committee is headed by Principal Secretary Finance, Secretary Personnel, Principal Secretary Governance, Reform IT, SIU, NIC, to guide and provide direction to solve issues brought to the notice. Now, all departments, they have created their internal monitoring committees for internal progress review. For each department and office, there are nodal officers we have appointed, because we have a single point of contact in the department. We have created emails, roughly 200, 150 to 200 emails are received daily and replied within 24 hours. Besides, we have 5-seat help desk for helping and solving issues and queries. And 2 months back, we have launched a chatbot which is available 24/7, Money chatbot. And we are using social media also, like WhatsApp, because information moves in email at a space in which once move into it. But with WhatsApp, information moves very fast. So we have created a department nodal officer this WhatsApp group, and departments themselves have created their own department WhatsApp group for faster communication of information, which we send from here to their own offices. Now, sir, as I have told that we have made an inroad into the social media, so there are around 40 different videos available on IHRMS YouTube channel. Right now, there are subscriber of around 650 subscriber, and it has got around 5 lakh plus views on this different modules. So there are 40 modules, and they are a kind of training source. In case of any doubt, in case of any issue, people see these videos and understand the process. Very elaborate process. Of course, I'll be discussing the major features and uniqueness. They may be similar to other IHRMS software, but I will like to emphasize few things. Of course, it is single-click integrated view. Now, in each module, we have fitted the CSR rules, Civil Services rules, which Government of Punjab has prescribed. Sorry. And they have been dovetailed to the level that each business rules comes into the picture whenever there is a option of same. And we have fitted in government specified forms and templates, which are there in CSR as part of the project. And like DA rates, GPF rates, GIS rates, and banks, everything that is master, that is updated centrally. So if DA is updated at one place, it is implemented throughout the state in single go. Now, automated updation of service book is another uniqueness of this project, because there are so many transactions taking place in the life of an employee, like increment, he is taking leave, he is going on training, and so on and so forth. There are different modules for that. So transaction taking place in those modules are automatically updating the service book of the employee, which is instantaneously available to the employee in any way he wants to see, whether on the portal or on the mobile application. Now, this application, I have already told that it has become a base application for so many applications, like integrated finance management system, which my colleague Mr. Navinder Sharma will be showing to you this. It is using the data from IHRMS. So whatever logics of processing bills on salary and GPF and GI and so many other activities, they are performed in IHRMS software. So IHRMS software works at the back end, but IFMS software is a front end to make the payment. Then it has been integrated with CCTNS application, which is of crime and criminal tracking system of police department. They are using this data heavily. Then there is a vehicle management system, which is also part of the IFMS system, in which expenditure on various vehicle is maintained in that system, and even when employee gets transferred, that data percolates from HRMS to VMS in a real seamless manner. So all the things remain updated every time. Then there is a e-Awas software of government accommodation allotment that is using this software. Public grievances is a software which government of Punjab has launched, in which employees, in which people submit the grievances to the government, and government officials are to take the action. So all the data of employees, they are posting their place of posting, that goes into the public grievance module automatically. Then AG office is using the pensioner data from our application, and they are sending us the EPPOs and other detailed information. This system has substituted a TCS developed IWDMS software, which was with a low cost IHRMS. And the systems which were not part of the IWDMS, even those systems have been made part of the IHRMS. Besides the regular employee, there are so many external employees and the external manpower which government department hire, and there was some kind of issues in the hiring of these contractual outsourced or retiree. So government thought of collecting this information so that and also keeping it updated, so that there is a discipline in the hiring of external manpower. So we have got 40,000 plus contractual outsourced employees whose database is maintained and updated. As I already told you, that IHRMS mobile application is there for every kind of activity which employee performs during this service period. You can increase or decrease GPF subscription under certain guidelines or restrictions which are there in the increasing, decreasing, and income tax enhancement or lowering the income tax deductions. All notifications are shown to them. Then 1 lakh plus downloads has happened with good rating on the Play Store. M-Hajri application I have already given you information. Chatbot I have also told you, and IHRM is YouTube about that. Even we have got a Facebook page in which we upload information and happenings in IHRMS, and it is a kind of precursor for the employees to see that what is going to happen in the government time to come. And what I would like to say that this is not a system that is only prepared for government departments. It is a system which is public sector undertakings, boards, corporations, they are using it. Even 3 universities are part of this system. Medical colleges are also part of the system, and other autonomous bodies are the part of this system. So single employee ID is given to the employee, which remains same throughout his service and even after service as a pensioner. So we are computerizing not only the front end, but back end activities in a seamlessly role-based workflow and process-based manner, based upon fitted business rule. So back end activities which used to happen on files is happening with the IHRMS. This is kind of thing which we could achieve in this application. Probably in other application which I have come across, I have not seen such kind of system built into the IHRMS system. Then we have got a robust decision support system, because if there are 202 departments presently, which is going to increase in time to come, if they ask for different reports based upon different parameters, we face a lot of problems. So we created a decision support system in which we created certain data sets. Using those data sets in a very...
I would like to interrupt at this stage. I want to have clarification on 2 things. Number 1, what is the status of the implementation of the project? To what extent it has been implemented, and since when it has been implemented?
Sir, I've already informed that it is implemented throughout the state of Punjab for all government departments. All government departments.
Okay, then what is the plan for its overall implementation?
Sir, actually government has taken a decision that it is going to be the single application for HR management in the state of Punjab.
That's where the issues are. Government has taken a decision is very good.
Okay.
Since we are reviewing a project which is which is already sanctioned and you are implementing that project, what we are interested to know what is the status of implementation of the project.
Mr. Ali,
Because
let me chip in here.
Okay, sir.
This is Dr. Abhinav Trikha. I am Special Secretary Expenditure and Director Treasury. I have been overseeing the implementation of HRMS and IFMS for a pretty long time now. With regard to your first query, as Mr. Ali has already said, it's a home to tomb HR system for the employees of the government of Punjab. I have 50 administrative departments, 50. The system is in place in all the 50 administrative departments of the government of Punjab.
okay,
With regard,
it's a centralized deployed system or it's a distributed for each department. It has been deployed in a unique way. How exactly is the deployment and implementation taking place?
uh, the system has been developed centrally by the Department of Finance with the help of the NIC. The system has then been rolled out for all the other departments. It's a centralized deployment, and then department with its data entry.
You know, there are major challenges in implementation of such projects. There is one issue of the development of this project. The other issue is on the implementation of this project. Now, all these slides have talked about some very interesting and very fundamental features which have to be there. With the point which I want to know, which is very, very basic, to at what extent is this implementation done till now and what is in the future plans? That has not come out in the presentation
Let
because
me.
if we have to review a project, we cannot review a project on motherhood statements because most of the statements which have come up in the presentation are the motherhood statements. They are true for any application or for any HRMS system. These are the very fundamental things. But what we are interested in knowing to what extent that implementation has actually taken place. Now, at one stage, in one of the bullet, it is mentioned that it is going to be integrated with CCTNS. Now, that's a very unique thing. The CCTNS does not have any HRMS interface as such. But the police department definitely requires HRMS because that requirement had been there and it has been identified as a part of a requirement. Now, to what extent that has been implemented is what I want to know. Because the moment you go into that, it means that it has to be implemented in about 800 or 1000 or 1500 police stations which are there in the state of Punjab. So, you know, it really creates another infrastructural issue as to what extent it has been done. So we would really like to appreciate that particular thing. Now, this comes under the home department. So the home department, to what extent it has implemented it, that's what I would like to know. Those are the things which have not come out in the presentation.
Should I answer the query, Mr. Bhushan, now?
Please, please.
Yeah. So the first is the overarching question on what is the stage of implementation and what have been the challenges in the implementation.
That's right.
The state is actively implementing the HRMS system since 2018.
Okay.
As Dalli has brought out in his presentation, the system has been named as IHRMS. The I stands for integration.
That's okay. We understand all that. Okay.
Yeah, let me clarify. There is a catch in that. Why we have kept it I is to ensure that the system remains dynamic, and the way to ensure that was that it is integrated with the salary. Salary module was developed in this system. The salary is being prepared in this system, and that ensures that the system is a dynamic system on a real-time basis. In May 2018, I rolled it out in all the 50 administrative departments.
Okay.
At that particular point of time, the government of Punjab had around 3,02,000 employees. The data with regard to the service book, which is a prerequisite to ensure that the salary is being created, was entered by all the departments. 3,02,000 employees, data of service book was entered. The salary was started generating, and that is how we started our journey of further developing the HRMS system.
Perfectly okay, perfectly okay. Because these are evolutionary systems. It has to be done both as far as the features are concerned and geography is concerned. Both have to go and expand in a parallel manner. So you cannot do it at one day, all the things. So it has to go step by step. And that is the thing which I was interested in knowing in this particular presentation.
And as we started our journey, we also realized the potential of the system. In 2019, we introduced we developed and deployed in certain new modules, which included the annual increment module. The annual increment of all the employees of the government of Punjab is now being generated in the system. Result, the mistakes that happen in the calculation in a manual way or some mischief that may happen has been curtailed. We introduced a GPF module. My GPF ledgers are now electronic ledgers to ensure that the previous GPF data is also entered into the system. Initially, we permitted the departments to enter the opening balance on a particular date of the GPF module, and thereafter the monthly deduction from the salary is automatically populated in the GPF module. I have now again changed that decision. We are now ensuring that the entire module, entire ledger, the manual ledger is entered into the GPF ledger, so that we have exact calculations of the interest as well as the exact calculations in the ledger. We then introduced the GIS module, one of the most neglected things in the government. Most of us don't know about our GIS deductions. The deductions are now being automatically populated, and an employee can actually see his GIS data, his GIS collection using a mobile app or on his computer. Thereafter, we introduced something called as an LTC module for the employees. The employee has to necessarily enter for applying for the leave travel concession on this LTC module. And then we have introduced the leave encashment module. Of late, seeing the potential of the system further, we have now rolled out an ACR system, an online ACR system. The ACR has to be filled online by the stipulated date by all the employees of the government of Punjab. It has to be filled by the reporting authority by the stipulated date. Otherwise, the system will automatically shift the ACR to the next particular level. So this is what I have been able to implement in the last 2 to 2.5 years of the system being in existence. We are now planning to develop, these are under the development at different stages, the medical reimbursement module, whereby the employee or the pensioner of the government applies online for his medical reimbursement. It moves online from his concerned office to the health department. There will be a separate small sub-module as a part of this module, whereby the health department will assess whether the claim is appropriate or not, and the sanctions will be automatically generated and come back to the office for reimbursing the claim of the employee. The system is already under development at a particular stage. We are also developing something called as a pension module. Pension module is a long process starting from the employee or a pensioner, or from an employee who is about to superannuate, applying for his pension, to the issuance of the authority by the AG office and the delivery of the same to the pensioner. We have already made online the generation of the authorization and the delivery of the concerned PPO, which we call as an ePPO, to the employee, to the pensioner online. We are working on developing the forward linkage of sending it online to the AG office. It had certain issues of integration with the videos, since videos of the AG office and the government throughout the country are different. So it has certain integration issues which have been resolved, and we will be rolling out the system in next 2 to 3 months. As Mr. Ralli has also told during his presentation, we have developed something called as mHajri, a mobile-based GPS coordinated Hajri system. It is pending for the approval of the government for rollout. Otherwise, the system is completely developed. So this is the entire scope. As far as challenges are concerned, definitely we had a lot of resistance from different quarters for the implementation of the system, including the data entry into the system. I mean, it's not easy to make the entry of 302,000 employees in a system. But
we very well appreciate all that. We very well appreciate all that. I would have really appreciated if there was one slide which just talked about certain timelines, that this project was conceived on such and such date. These are the work which had been done. It was first rolled out of the first 3 or 1 module on such and such date. For these departments, and others are in progress. Whatever it is, if it could have come in one slide, it would have given a total overview of the project. Because see, in 15 minutes, we cannot go through all the details of the project. We know what HRMS is, we know what integration is, we know what the history has been. So this would really had given a beautiful insight to the project. I would still suggest if that can be done for your exhibition and other things, so that people come to know what all you have done, where all the successes have been there. We know the challenges that you have faced. The problems are very well known in that. And this could actually be a platform for the other states to see what has been done here, and if it can be replicated elsewhere, there can be nothing better than that. NIC somehow in pockets do a fantastic job, but that replication somehow get missed out. So we are trying to offer you that platform where this replication possibility can really be brought about. So it's a fantastic thing what you have just explained me. I'm aware of what all has been going on. I wish you all the best for this.
Thank you. Thank you. It's well taken. It will be incorporated in this. We will incorporate 2 slides. The slides on how this entire journey happened, and the slide on the challenges we face.
That's right. That's right. I would really appreciate. Carry on. Mr. Ali, carry on.
Sir, I was on the point of DSS, decision support system. So we had to develop this system for the reason because there was multitude of requirements of different type of reports. So now departments themselves are in position to create reports with simple drag and drop features. Various other types of reports are there. MIS, analytical, and standard dashboard is also available. And this has become a tool for further proliferation of e-governance in many departments. Like there is a bank, state government cooperative bank, in which there are around 7,000 defaulters who are not paying their employees, who are not paying their loans back to the government. So process has been brought into that we get the data from the cooperative bank and put a check on the employee's salary that he is to give back the loan which he has taken from the state cooperative bank. Similarly, High Court has approached us. Of course, it is in pipeline. They want to issue court summons to the police department official in criminal cases, but it is yet to be understood and implemented. But scope is there. And we have created a database of officials who have been
sorry to interrupt you. So actually your time limit has been exceeded. So I'll request you to please conclude the presentation.
Okay. So as far as scalability and replicability is concerned, that what I can say that civil services rules are same across many states. So HRMS can be implemented with minor changes. Since rules are fitted at granular level and with faster modification, it can be adapted in different states. And we have put most of the logics in the backend. So it is very good that logics are implemented at the backend. So no front end change is required. So this is what I can say about the scalability and replicability. Rather, we have been asked by Department of Health, Government of India, to implement this system in many states, in which Department of Health has given a target to do their human resource management information system, but they are not able to. And we have asked them to approach to us through our headquarter, and they're in the process. And future roadmap is that we have got now so huge data available with us, big data, you can say, that we will like to use artificial intelligence for automating the financial allocation and HRM management and checks on expenditure, because so much funds remains available at the cost of no availability of funds to the different department. And of course, our dashboards are not that robust till now. We want to increase, build those robust and real-time dashboard. Transfer and posting, every department has got its own department-specific policies and rules. We have made the system design, system specifications that it is a kind of generic software which should come up, and department should be able to modify the parameters they want to take into their transfer policies. And now there is a talk of tight integration of IHRMS with IFMS. Earlier it was done with the old system which TCS was running, but now it has been given to NIC. My colleague will be presenting on it. So now that is pending, and we will be doing that thing. And now the government is thinking of introducing single pension authority, DDU and AMA, at by setting up one IHRM as directed without compromising the prevailing system, but doing it in a fast manner. We will be this software will be further enhanced or further strengthened to take decision on reducing extra manpower in few departments, like internal audit, who does the audit of the departments about the functioning of the government rules, because they are fitted in the system, so their manpower can be reduced for basic purposes, and they can be put to other departments. Economic and statistics, they are generating so many reports of employees that can be generated, and projections of government liability and cost assessment of any government activity which government intends to take in future, that will be part of the system. Now we are trying to make it a system which can be made as a SaaS kind of system. So that is there in our mind. So this is the implementation statistics which I just wanted to show to you. Roughly salary bills of around 1600 to 17 crores per month they are generated and paid by IFMS as well. So this is what I wanted to convey. Thank you very much. Questions?
Raleigh sir, I have one observation that particularly leaves early GPF, Provident Fund, and the service book. These are three main important records of an employee. Particularly very important, very critical for those who are nearing to retirement, because you can update the GPF for leaves and other records from as a current date to future dates. But what about the past 20 years records, 30 years record, which are difficult to compile? So preference should be given to the digitizing the old records also, because it takes time, and those who are nearing to the retirement, then it create a panic among them. So these are my observation that should also be taken on priority.
Sir, I would like to answer that we have developed a module like such as you are asking for. If all old leaves can be entered into it. Of course, that will be difficult. So what we have done, that we have said that you entered a balance leave on certain date and then start implementing the leave module. And once the employees, those employees who are nearing their retirement, for those employees, they have to fill all the leave details. So system takes care of that, but in a well coordinated manner, so that it is not burdened to the person who are handling the leave management of the employees. So in a department or in an office, normally 1 or 2% retire during a month. So it is very easy to fill that record backward. But begin with, we take balance of the leave at a certain date, and from then we start implementing the leave module, GPF module, and other modules, which is built, which is revolves around the leave module.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.